Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Forsyth County Connections, coming to you from the Forsyth County Government Center in downtown Winston-Salem. We're so glad to have you with us. We have a lot of ground to cover on this half hour, including talking about emergency rental assistance, new construction, and much more. But where we want to start is with sort of a COVID update. We do that with an expert in the field. She's with me now. Maura Trimble is Public Health Nursing Supervisor for Forsyth County. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
You've been at the forefront of this whole mess for so long. I call it, pandemic mess, tragedy. But give me sort of an update on how we're trending in terms of cases.
It's been a long 20 months. Started way back in March 2020 was our first 2 cases.
Right.
Now we're over 50,000 cases over this period of time. I'd like to say we're in a better direction with the after the Delta wave in August and September. We've been at about 60 cases on average per day in the last week. But just today, our case rate is up to 100. So is this an anomaly? Is it a fallout from Halloween and Veterans Day?
I didn't think about that. That could be.
Right.
Do you have it? Let me put you on the spot. We didn't rehearse this or anything, but do you have any kind of figures or an estimate of how many adults in Forsyth County in this area have been vaccinated? I mean, do you have a feel for how well we're doing in terms of vaccination?
I do. So Forsyth County, along with Guilford County, we're sort of tracking side by side, so that's great. We're in about the high 50s. But when you look at the surrounding counties, Davie, Davidson, Yadkin, Surrey, Stokes, they're about 10 points behind us. So as a region, we're not quite at that whole 50% point. The United States is a little bit further ahead of us than we are, but we're kind of right in the middle of it. Right?
The big confusion now, and unfortunately, it's been a lot, as you know, a lot of misinformation that's been out there about everything, masks, vaccines, the whole thing. Let me hone in on one thing, which is the booster shots. Now there's confusion. People say, well, if I got the Johnson & Johnson, can I get a Moderna booster? If I got the Pfizer shot, can I get a Johnson & Johnson booster? What's your advice? I know that I'm not going to get you in legal trouble here, but what's your gut feeling about what's safe and what's not?
Sure. I think so. There's 2 different types. The mRNA, the messenger RNA vaccine, is Moderna and Pfizer, and then Johnson & Johnson is the adenovirus. So it's just different technologies to introduce to your immune system what they should watch for as far as combating the virus. So this Friday, CDC is actually having a meeting to discuss whether they should, Pfizer's has asked them to offer a booster to anybody 18 and over without the conditions of being 65 or older, or anybody 18 with high-risk situations or
Right.
conditions. So right now it's more about getting people vaccinated, fully vaccinated, but the vaccine is waning. But Delta's still here, very high levels. We're still in a high level of transmission.
So we
in the
need to
county.
get the booster.
We need to get the booster.
And the children now, there's vaccines available for them. Are you advising parents who ask for your opinion to get the kids vaccinated?
Definitely. For many reasons. One is for their own safety, for their family's safety. And if they're traveling this holiday season, so that if they're going to see their grandparents who maybe have a higher risk, that they're protected as well.
Light at the end of the tunnel on this COVID thing, got a guess?
COVID's here. COVID's not going anywhere. We just need to adapt to it as it keeps adapting to us. If you look at the influenza pandemic of 1918, that was the H1N1 virus, and that's still what we have in our flu vaccine now.
This may shock you, Maura, but I did not remember the 1918 virus. I was in the Civil War, but now I'm 100 years old. Hey, look, seriously, let me end up on one quick thing before we run out of time, and that's the nursing shortage, which was bad before pandemic. Now it's worse. What are we doing to try to fix that?
So again, the nursing shortage, like you said, it's been going on for a long time, and it's really due to not the people that don't want to be nurses, but the limitations of what nursing schools, how many seats they have, and it's limited by the clinical opportunities for the during school, and also the number of educators. So if you're a nurse, find out, see if you want to be an educator, maybe help out the colleges so we can increase enrollment. Ability for enrollment.
Well, I just appreciate all you do, keeping track of these things. We'll probably need to get you on later to try to, on another program, to kind of keep up with what's going on. But I do appreciate your efforts in trying to lead the way and make sure people are educated about vaccines. It's a tough job and a tough period of time, but thanks for all you do.
You're welcome. And thank you for this opportunity. And thanks to all the public health people out there.
All right.
Appreciate you.
We'll be right back after this.
When you take your car in for an oil change, a good mechanic will also take care of other routine maintenance to make sure your car runs safely and efficiently. Protecting your health isn't much different. When you get a COVID-19 vaccine, it's important to make sure you're also protected from other serious but preventable diseases. It's easy and convenient to get other routine vaccines at the same time as a COVID-19 vaccine. So make sure you ask a healthcare professional about other vaccines you may need to maintain your health.
There's a place to share gossip about the office party fun, and a place to share the story you tell everyone. There's a place to share a laugh about when things went wrong, and a place to share the video of you dancing to your song. There's a place to share spare change, lunch, and your time. But we could all be better at sharing how we're feeling inside. 76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone.
Right now on Forsyth County Connections, coming to you from the Forsyth County Government Center in downtown Winston-Salem. And now we want to focus on emergency rental assistance, something you heard a lot about in the news. Let's go in depth about it just a little bit with a very special guest. With me now is Mia Stockton. She's Division Director for Social Services in Forsyth County, and thanks for doing this.
Oh, Jim, thank you so much for having me.
For folks who may not know, let's make sure we're on the same page here. What is Emergency Rental Assistance Program? What is that all about?
Okay, so Emergency Rental Assistance Program, you'll hear us refer to it as ERAP.
Okay.
It's a program open to all renters, residents of the city of Winston-Salem and Forsyth County. Assistance is with rent and or utilities, including electricity, water, sewer, trash, removal, natural gas, propane, fuel, oil, and internet.
So it's covering everything.
It's covering pretty much everything.
You mentioned Winston-Salem, so is there some sort of official partnership or something that the county has with the city to say we're going to help each other and try to identify folks and get help to folks?
Absolutely. So the city of Winston-Salem and Forsyth County received funding from the U.S. Treasury. So what we did as a collaboration interlocal agreement, we wanted to make sure this process was streamlined for our citizens.
Sure.
So we have collaborated our funding together, and we complete one application through an application portal for the citizens of Forsyth County.
Okay. Now, there are a lot of people who rent, but I want to know specifically, how would I know if I'm eligible for you to help me, though, under this program?
Oh, so Jim, one of the things you can do is you can go online to erap.cc. Let me just say that again.
Yeah,
it's forsyth.cc/ERAP,
Okay.
or you can contact the Department of Social Services. We're there Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and they can come into the agency to make an application, or they can give us a call at the DSS.
Sure.
To
And of
determine.
course, the general website, we're sitting here right behind it.
Yeah.
It's always good. You can go to connectwith.forsythcountync.gov, and that can get people to a lot of different information. How much, do you have any handle yet on how many people have been served through this rental assistance program?
Yeah,
and
we've
how
done
much
a
money?
really great job. So far, we've served over 3,000 households.
Wow.
Yes, with an average of $4,500 per household.
That's amazing. And these are federal dollars coming in. Now, I'm wondering, when you talk about applying, we'll get to that again. We'll mention the applications in just a second. But does this thing run out at some point? I mean, because we're sort of close to the end of the calendar year.
Yeah, it does run out, but it is through September of 2025.
Oh, okay.
Yes, or until funds are exhausted.
All right. So, but yeah, that's important too. So you don't want to wait.
Absolutely.
All right. Now let's backtrack a little bit on this application thing. Tell me once again what maybe the quickest way, because sometimes people are afraid of red tape and all this kind of stuff. What's the quickest way to sort of apply and try to find out if you're going to be able to get assistance?
So if you are computer literate, the quickest way is certainly to go to the website. Again, that is forsyth.cc/ERAP. But if you need some additional assistance, one-on-one assistance, please come to the Department of Social Services, 741 North Highland Street.
What kind of, if any, what kind of documentation, it seems like we're in a world where you got to present an ID or documentation for just about everything you do. So if I'm applying for emergency rental assistance, are there certain things, let's say I come down and want to see you in person, or even if I go online, what kind of documentation am I going to have?
Absolutely. So things to speed up the process, we need proof of identity for all household members, adult household members. We need proof of your income. However, if you don't have your income, you can self-attest to your income for the last 2 months, or you can provide your 2020 taxes as well.
Well, I'm glad there's a lot of ways to get into this to try to get help because so many people do need the help. But yeah, I just think what you do is so important, and I appreciate how you're helping folks. And maybe you can come back sometime and give us an update.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. We'll be right back after this.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Back now for Forsyth County Connections. And we want to talk about the American Recovery Plan Act. Now, before you switch the channel and say, I don't want to talk about federal programs and stuff. Wait a minute. This is affecting all of us around here. And we're going to find out why with our special guest. With me is Iesha Carter. She's the ARPA administrator and North Carolina IDA Small Business Coordinator for Forsyth County Government. A lot of titles, a lot of responsibility. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Jim.
And a graduate of Reynolds High School, so she and I have bonded on that.
Yes, go Demons.
What is give us just a short summary of what the American Recovery Plan Act is, because maybe some folks have not heard the initials.
Okay, so ARPA is the American Rescue Plan Act.
Is it Rescue? Okay,
Plan Act.
Good.
It is a law that was put into place by the United States government to help respond to the COVID-19 pandemic.
And what kind of money are we talking about that's available from the feds that maybe could help Forsyth County?
Sure. So a lot of governments receive funding. Governments, state, local, territorial, and tribal governments receive funds, and Forsyth County received $74 million in funding.
Wow.
And 56 has yet to be allocated.
Okay. 74 million so far, 56 million more to be allocated.
Mm-hmm.
What, give me sort of an idea of where that money goes. How is it helping us?
Okay, so for the ARPA funds, it can only be used for certain categories, eligible areas. It can be used to support public health response, replace public sector revenue loss, water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure, address negative economic impacts, and give money to premium pay to essential workers.
Now, how can somebody apply for this funding? Since it has, you just listed some specific things, so obviously we got to qualify in those categories, but is it hard to apply?
It is not hard to apply. I do want to say that the application process has closed for the first round of funding. So the application was open July 15th and it closed August 27th. So the first round of funding has closed, but you could have applied online via the Forsyth County website on the ARPA page.
Okay.
Now, there possibly will be a second round of funding. So those interested can contact the ARPA administrator, who is myself, at Carter, at forsyth.cc.
And it could very well happen that,
yes,
that it opens up again. So you want to get in and get in early and make sure you've got that application. Are these applications and things a matter of public record so I can sort of see where the money's going, or is it just private between your office and somebody, or what?
It is public record. Any document that the government has, I believe, is public record. So if you go to Forsyth County's website, you go to the ARPA webpage. And how do you get to this webpage? It's fairly simple. If you go to the homepage of Forsyth County's website, there's going to be an image that's right on the homepage that says ARPA.
Okay.
You click on that link and it'll take you directly to the page. On that page, there is background information about ARPA, as well as a timeline, the status update. So all the applications that were submitted, which was 176, is located on that page.
Wow, 176
as well as the status.
Applications.
176 applications were submitted.
And I know everything's politically charged nowadays. People always say, I want transparency in government. Well, that's transparency. You can go in there and find out what people are doing.
Each and every one of them.
Yeah. And again, I noticed right there behind me, connect with forsythcounty.nc.gov is a general website that Iesha mentioned. Mm-hmm. Thanks for all you do. And thanks for stopping by and spending a few minutes with us.
All right. Thank you so much, Jim. Thanks for having me.
And go Reynolds.
Go Demons.
Go Demons. That's right. See, we've just skewed the whole program toward one high school. We'll be right back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Remember.
Honor. Teach.
Join us on Saturday, December 18th for National Wreaths Across America Day. To find the location in your community, visit wreathsacrossamerica.org.
Right now on Forsyth County Connections, and we want to turn our attention to human resources, and who better to help us with this than Carter Lemmerman. He's Senior Human Resources Consultant in Forsyth County. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Before we get into I had some questions I want to ask you specifically, but before that, let me get personal with you for just a second. What attracted you to want to work in the county? I've never asked anybody that. I mean, why was it attractive for you to want to work here?
Right. So I actually grew up in and was raised in Forsyth County. And so once I came back from college, I moved back in town, and I've always wanted to work for an employer who serves and give back to the community. So once the Senior Human Resources Consultant position became available, I thought it was an excellent chance for me to give back to this community. And once I applied, I started looking at the county as an employer and discovered their robust benefits and just excellent opportunities.
Good place to work.
Absolutely.
All right. Does that count as a commercial? I guess we just did a commercial for the county. Look, seriously, the side effects of the pandemic, it seems like it doesn't matter what topic we're talking about, the pandemic's going to have something to do with it. We're now in a period of time where people are sort of picking and choosing where they want to work. They've worked at home. Maybe they want to keep working at home. Maybe they don't want to go back to the job they've had. So a lot of businesses are having trouble finding good employees and retaining good employees. How's the county doing overall? I won't put you on the spot for specific numbers, but how are things stacking up?
Right. So recruitment has been difficult since the COVID-19 pandemic. And so we have seen an overall decrease in our applications. But during the same time frame, we've actually hired a lot of excellent employees as well. And so during the pandemic, our employees have adapted to the new needs that the pandemic created. And so they have just adapted well. And the law enforcement, EMS, fire continues to serve our community. Our custodians are even adapting by providing new and cutting edge ways to clean our facilities, make sure our citizens stay safe when they're utilizing our buildings.
Right.
And so as we start to get around the curve, we actually have already seen an increase in our applications again.
Oh, good.
And so we're hoping that as we hopefully get over the pandemic, we'll start to get back to that normal. And
are there certain types of jobs, put you on the spot again, are there certain types of jobs that are in more demand, or let's say maybe you have more openings for? I was talking with Maura earlier in the program, and she said we still have a nursing shortage, of course.
Right.
Can you pinpoint one or two examples of areas where there might be some immediate job openings?
Absolutely. So currently, right now we're looking for EMT paramedics, public health nurses, as you mentioned, detention officers, skilled trades workers, which would be plumbing, HVAC, or general building maintenance, and custodians.
We're always trying to, help and support our veterans, and you happen to be one. Since not to embarrass you or anything, but I wanted to bring up another personal thing. Your experience as you continue to serve through the National Guard, Army National Guard. How do you feel about as an employee of the county? And this may sound like another commercial for the county, but how do you think veterans are received and treated as employees, and the kind of atmosphere you work in? What kind of environment?
So I've found that the county has been a great place to work as a veteran. Both the county and my department specifically has supported me tremendously during my activations to federal service. And so they've checked on me, they've checked on my family while I was overseas, and they've also sent me care packages while I was away. And so in addition to that, they, of course, comply with all federal laws, but they also offer benefits to us that aren't necessarily mandated. They offer supplemental compensation, continued life insurance. We have the option of continuing our health, dental.
Boy, all that's
insurance.
so important. You know, I mean, sometimes we take things for granted, not since the pandemic probably, but in history, we've sort of taken certain things for granted, but not so, and especially hearing that you're getting that kind of support as a member of, as a veteran. But I appreciate your service, and I appreciate the comments that you made, and all that you're doing here in the county. So thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
When you take your car in for an oil change, a good mechanic will also take care of other routine maintenance to make sure your car runs safely and efficiently. Protecting your health isn't much different. When you get a COVID-19 vaccine, it's important to make sure you're also protected from other serious but preventable diseases. It's easy and convenient to get other routine vaccines at the same time as a COVID-19 vaccine. So make sure you ask a healthcare professional about other vaccines you may need to maintain your health.
Back now on Forsyth County Connections. I'm Jim Longworth. So glad you stayed with us throughout the half hour. As we come to our last segment, we want to talk about new construction projects and hone in on one particular one, which you may be interested in. We're doing that with our good friend James Anderson, who's Design and Construction Manager for Forsyth County General Services. Thanks for dropping by.
Jim, glad to be here.
Let's talk about the new courthouse. Who's the team behind this project? Just fill me in a little bit.
So the project is designed by a local architect, CJMW. John Drinkard's the lead architect, and they've partnered with two firms that have significant experience with courthouse design. So Brian Atkins out of the Raleigh office has done the facade for the outside of the building and collaborating on the interior design and department layouts. And then Doug Kleppen, which is a premier courthouse architect, is working on the actual courtrooms themselves and did a fantastic design there. I think the folks will be pleased with when they see it.
Now, somebody might come up to you on the street and say, James, no, wait a minute, we have this existing Hall of Justice. A, how come we need this new courthouse complex? And B, how's it going to be different?
Yeah, so probably the number one thing that most folks are going to notice right off the bat is it's going to be significantly bigger. The new courthouse is going to be roughly 40% larger than the existing. We're going from about 170,000 square feet to about 240,000 square feet.
Wow.
And, there's going to be some vast improvements inside the building that I think the public's going to appreciate and the staff are certainly going to appreciate. The biggest thing is that we're going from a model where staff and inmates share corridors and elevators to we're going to have dedicated movement areas for the public, for staff,
Make
and
it
for
safer.
the
Make it safer.
Certainly. And one thing that I think the public is really going to like, if you've ever been to our courthouse right now, you wait in lines forever down at the bottom for an elevator. And so two key things that we did to help that in the new courthouse is one, the courtrooms are consolidated on the 2 floors. So you're not going to 6 different floors in the building trying to find your courtroom.
Right.
And the second thing we did is we've increased from 2 to 4 elevators. And then we've got 2 escalators that are dedicated to take people up to those 2nd and 3rd floors. So it's just a really fast movement of folks into the building and up to where they need to be.
Now, what's the status of the schedule and the budget? Fill me in on that.
So we're tracking pretty good on schedule right now. Our contractor, Sam at Balfour Beatty, they're projecting that we'll be complete in May of 2023.
You're talking about complete. Now, just so we understand, does that mean I can be walking in there and judges and lawyers can do their thing, or
so that'll be the date that it gets turned over to the county, and then we'll have a period after that of probably 3 to 4 months to get furniture moved in and then actually get the staff moved from one location to the other.
So realistically, next fall we actually start operating out of there. Put you on the spot on this, any issues or challenges that you've come up against during this process?
Yeah, so we did hit one issue when we were starting the excavation of the site. Most folks probably remember there used to be an RJR factory on that site.
Right.
And apparently when they did the demolition after it burned down, they left some of the old foundations in place. And so we started that excavation, and we found some areas where they had chunks of concrete that were 15 feet deep and 20 feet by 30 feet.
Good
so just
Lord.
massive amounts of concrete. So it took an extra 3-4 weeks to get that concrete out of the
Slowed
ground.
it down. So what about weather? We're coming into winter pretty soon, and this is a famous area for ice and storms. What do you look at for that?
Well, knock on wood, so far weather has been on our side for this project. We've been significantly under the NOAA average for weather days, and where we are with site work now, we don't have to worry about getting a lot of rain and then the site not drying out. We're in process now of doing the structural steel. They're roughly about 50% complete with that, and I just moved the crane this week to Patterson Avenue side of the building, and if all goes well with no hiccups, we'll be having a topping out party in January or early February.
Sounds good. Good thing to do at the first of the year. Congratulations on staying on top of this thing and getting it done in a timely fashion, because whether or not, if we all really stop and think about it, it's going to be an important complex to serve all the citizens of this area. So I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
James, I'm glad he took some time to be with us. But speaking of time, before that runs out, I want to mention just a quick note of a program coming up. In the future, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Festival of Lights in one of our December shows. But while I have everybody here, let me just give it a plug right now. It's the Festival of Lights going on now through January 1st. It's a beautiful display. It's out at Tanglewood Park in Clemens. And in case you think about going out there, operations from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. nightly. Something for the whole family to enjoy. We're very proud of it, and I hope people will go out and see it. And one other quick thing, I keep saying that sitting behind me here is this big screen with the big website on it. If you have any questions, you want to find out more about what's going on, connect with forsythcountync.gov. Hope you'll do that. For our county manager, Dudley Watts, for Tracy Doyle, all the technical folks here, and everybody, Forsyth County, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next time.